Party is right here, Ilana. So like we've mentioned earlier on, every Friday for the month of September, we're going to bring you a great kids-themed party. And we're starting off this morning with a Woodlands fairy-themed party. And Matana's here to talk us through what exactly she's created. And we've also got our two very own fairies on that side, Kayla and Ella as well. Matana, this is fantastic. And I can imagine this in the garden, under trees. And exactly. I mean, this is definitely something for little girls. Eh?
Yeah. One of my fondest memories as a child was this fairy party my mom put together for me in the garden. So I really took inspiration from that to create this fairy woodlands theme. Wow. And what I love about it is it takes the traditional fairy theme and mixes it up with natural elements such as the branches and the leaves and the flowers, and really gives it that natural forest feel.
Yes.
You know, it was such fun sourcing for everything. I went into the cutest little bespoke party store called In Good Company and got all the prettiest little paper plates and cups and serviettes, you know, cake stands, the beautiful pink lollipops, and these really fun pink pom-poms hanging above. What I also love is a great feature are the little fairy balls that light up on and off.
I love the fairy balls.
Almost as if they were fairies.
You know what? I can definitely see you had a lot of fun putting this together.
Yeah. And I mean, I worked with, you know, the wooden tabletop, which is great as a nice base and helps accentuate my table, keeping it natural. I loved also sourcing for the little wooden tree stump plates and the little candle holders that we've actually used to prop little cupcakes onto.
Yes.
Those are all from Blink, which was really a lot of fun. And then I went into my garden, collected branches and leaves and flowers, and then just put it together to, you know, juxtapose the two, the pink and the red, and all these natural greens and browns together, and it just works.
And what I like about it, it's not difficult to put this together. I mean, you just used a little bit of creativity, and you were able to find the most, you know, unique little things that really represents a woodlands theme as well.
Exactly.
Lovely. Now we've got our cake here on this side as well. I mean, just talk to me about that cake, because man, is that awesome.
This cake is so beautiful that Caitlin made, and I really feel that it captures that whole kind of fairy tale land of this little woodlands, you know, mushroom with the little fairy on top. I love the little, you know, mushroom meringues on top there. The detail is amazing. So I just love it.
I just want to quickly have a thumbs up. Do you like our fairy table? Our two fairies on that side? Yes, beautiful. Okay, so Matana, I think for me, the one thing that really stands out when it comes to this table is not only the nice and the wood that's represented here, but that cake. And I know a lot of people at home are just going like, oh my word, how cool is that? That must be crazy difficult to create that. But actually, it's not, because we're going to show you right now how you can make your own mushroom cake. Check it out.
Okay, well, the party starts here right now. Morning, Caitlin. How are you?
Good morning. I'm always good.
I'm looking at that beautiful table, and I think, how does one possibly even start to create it? And I can already see a finished product here. Look, this looks yummy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just as easy to make. And the one thing about, you know, busy moms, you always want to make a cake for your children for their birthdays, but it's not always possible. So I'm going to show you an easy way. I mean, it's cheaper than ordering a fancy cake as one. It means so much more when you make it yourself. I know, because
you're making it yourself. So in the kitchen today, we're creating very beautiful cakes. Of course, our theme for our kids' birthday parties today. And all our little girls are very happy on the other side. How do we get started?
So what I've done is I've used the famous Stork beat and bake cake, which you throw everything in a bowl and voila, magic. But the important thing to remember is that you don't need to go out and buy fancy molds. You can use what you have in your kitchen.
Right.
So I've created, you use two domes to make the top of the mushroom and the bottom of the mushroom. You could use a bowl like this, for instance, and bake the cake in there. Whatever you have at home.
As long as it's round and it can create a mushroom when it's done.
Exactly. So we've baked the cake, and then the other important part is the icing. So we're going to quickly make a buttercream.
This looks great already. I mean, I can see the finished ones. You've got red here and white, and it looks really, really yum.
So we've got half a block of Stork bake in here.
Stork bake is so easy to use. It keeps everything fresh for longer.
Yeah, and so what happens is, because you said fresh for longer, you can actually bake the cake a couple of days in advance, and you're not even going to notice it.
All right,
so if you want to turn on the beaters for me and cream that.
Okay.
And it's going to go beautiful and light and fluffy, and we've got some icing sugar in here. And the great thing about the Stork bake is it also whips really white.
Yeah.
So you know that beautiful white icing that you get?
Yes.
That's how you're going to get it.
Ah, but I can see the finished product. It's almost something that you can smear, literally.
Yes. So you carry on adding the icing sugar, and you just whip that until it's really, really light and fluffy. And then you get something like this.
Okay.
So voila, this is what it looks like. And you can see it's beautiful white, fluffy, and then I've coloured half of it red.
And this is usually the type of thing that if the cake is finished, you literally grab the bowl and your finger goes into it, right, Caitlin?
It's not baking unless you lick the bowl.
Well, that sounds good to me.
So we've got the white and the red.
Right.
When you use the red food colouring, go for the gel, not the liquid one, because the liquid one will just turn it pink. The red gel is the secret.
We'll make it red.
So I'm going to ice this one red. If you want to do this one, we're going to do this at the bottom is going to be white.
Okay, look at that. So I can go for the white one.
Yes,
Okay.
go for it.
Look, you can create this at home as well. Our keyword for today is Stork. So Stork to 33728. And you can make a beautiful cake for your tea party. I mean, if I can do it, anyone can. Caitlin's literally creating a beautiful, easy recipe for us. And you can get that link to the recipe too. Our theme, of course, children's parties. And Ewan's on the other side with our little girls. We saw them earlier. And we're going to do that every Friday. I know, they dress so beautifully.
I wish I'd come with my pair of wings.
Ah, you should have.
So if you might notice that this is a little bit, it looks familiar, doesn't it? These domes. I mean, didn't every girl have a little princess cake with the Barbie in the middle?
Ah, I
So-
saw them in pictures.
You could do the same thing. I mean, if you got a Barbie doll, you stick it in the cake and you can
Literally.
ice its little dress beautifully.
You get really inexpensive ones as well, like the normal plastic dolls that you could just stick on the top, literally.
Then so I'm done here, so you carry on.
Yeah.
No toadstool is complete without its little dots.
This is so clever, Caitlin.
And these are little chocolate melts that you can buy. They're from Pick and Pay, so you can just pop those on for the little polka dots.
I have to tell you, this smells like the signature cake, but you know the type of sponge cake, and I know that you put some of our Stork in there as well. It smells delicious. You want to take over?
Yeah, let's just neaten it up a little bit.
She
But you
says.
did a good job. Did a good job. And then you're just going to pop this one on top of the other. There we go. There's your handiwork. And then I've just put a little stick. This is just to stabilize it, to make
Right.
sure that nothing falls
over.
all over the place. Okay, so obviously you're going to do this with a little more time.
Yeah.
And then no mushroom is complete without its environment. So we've got some coconut that's just
How did you get it to colour?
it's just got a little bit of green food colouring in, nothing fancy.
Right.
And you don't need to buy a special cake board either. Just use a plate, or even just a piece of wood would work really nicely, obviously, because it
Yeah,
it
you can
fits
literally
in.
use your carving board in the kitchen. And
And then I've got some chocolate cookies here that are crushed up for a little bit of
A
soil.
little soil, okay.
There we go, some soil. Do you want to carry on for that?
This is really clever,
Get
Caitlin.
creative.
Yeah, well.
I've got some little chocolate flake here for bark, little tree stumps, which are very, very cute.
Look at that.
And then I made little ladybugs. You could buy these. Honestly, if you don't have the time. But
make
you can
them,
see
okay.
it's just a little red ball of icing with some black. So I'm just popping the little ladybugs. Let's put one on top. And also the flowers. No one expects you to make these icing flowers from
You could
scratch.
probably just get them over the
So you
counter.
can buy them from a baking shop, absolutely.
This is so much fun.
Aren't you having fun? And these are little mushrooms. So that's just a marshmallow with a little
Wow.
meringue on top.
Okay, so this is really easy to make.
Yeah, so simple. And those are just going to go on there.
Where
and then
can
you
I put these?
Anywhere you want. And then obviously if you are at the baking shop, I bought a little fairy princess that someone worked very hard to make. And I popped that on top and voila.
Listen, this is really a voila moment. Literally like that, huh? Stork to 33728 to get a link to the recipe. This is beautiful. Now listen, someone has to cut this cake and eat it. Ewan, how is your party going?
The party is going fantastic, and as you can see, our two fairies actually just couldn't hold out. We had to cut that cake. It looks delicious. I'm going to have my piece now. But I mean, if our Woodlands party theme or Woodlands fairy theme this morning didn't inspire you to create your own party at home, I don't know what will, because Matana, this is really exciting. What was your favorite part of putting this together?
I loved putting in the little details, such as the little pink flowers in between or the cluster of branches.
You're such a fairy yourself.
I am at heart. And the little fairy floral crowns that they're wearing.
Oh,
we also
stunning.
made to tie in with the table, so you know it's such a fun, easy thing to achieve at home. And like you said earlier, you know, have this as a picnic in your garden.
Yeah.
It's just so achievable. Use what you have. There's so much to work with, and really just have fun with it.
And there's no better time than spring to have a party. Matana, thank you so much. And also to our two fairies. It looks like they could actually be in a movie. They look like real fairies. Oh, that's lovely. But next week is one for the boys. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be fantastic. We're not going to give it away just yet, but Matana's got something very, very sneaky up her sleeve. It's going to be very nice. Stay tuned for that. We're going to take a quick ad break. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Stork. Best for baking.